talk it through a couple of times. Be clear.
Let's talk about it.
You are what I call fighting around these coaches.
Oh my God.
Situations might not be ideal.
I saw how even the things that I thought was a negative was really a positive.
Didn't have enough money to last more than 6 months.
I figured out another way to make money.
Who is Blessin?
I am radiant. I magnify. I am a star. Buying the Bentley. I'm buying the watch. I'm buying the house.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Full Transparency with Donni Wiggins, where I sit down with outstanding entrepreneurs who are dominating in their field, and they got some transparent things to share with us. Think of this as less of an interview, more of a conversation, kind of like if I gave you a fly on the wall perspective of the chit chats that I would have with these entrepreneurs. And today I am super excited to have the guest that I have on here today. And if I'm being totally honest, I don't know what you were about to talk about, right? Listen, this is going to be one of the most transparent, full transparency conversations. I want to welcome Miss Blessin McCoy Thompson on the sofa with me. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
How are you?
I'm wonderful.
You
How
look
are
so
you?
pretty and green.
You know, I just wanted to match your vibe and bring the prettiness.
If I would have put on like some green.
But it's just in you, baby. You the green girl, you know?
I am the green. I got some money in my purse.
That's
Maybe
what
that
the
works.
green is. So you're never without.
I love it. Blessin. First of all, we talked about, if I'm being totally honest, we talked about a couple of things off camera, and I'm sitting here with Blessin, and I'm like, nope, stop, because we got to talk about it on the show.
This will be good.
So this is gonna be real good.
Am I looking here?
You are looking at me.
Okay.
Yeah, at me. But if you want to say something to the people, you can actually
here. Okay.
look there.
Just
Yeah, but right now, are you okay looking at me?
Yes.
Yes, you look outstanding. It's been so long. First of all, this moment you mentioned earlier was surreal for you. You used to come into the studio and watch David and I shoot Social Proof. And I believe, Blessin, when we were at the old building, you've been coming that long. And I believe one time I heard you say at the old building, one day I'm going to be like on the show. And you've now done Social Proof.
Yep.
And now you're here doing Full Transparency. You manifested that.
Listen, I'm becoming blown away of the magic of my manifesting. And I think for me, I used to think that when you wanted to manifest, it was like you thought of it today, it's supposed to appear tomorrow. So God is teaching me how time really works, but everything I want, I get. And it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But you know, the flip side, you know, I believe I am the manifestation queen. I feel that way too. Everything that I want, I get. But I think we also have to be responsible in letting people know that some of the things that we don't want, but we meditate on, we think about, and we're believing about ourselves, even when they're negative, we get those things too. Because manifestation can't necessarily tell if it's positive or negative.
That's a fact.
So we're getting some of the negative stuff.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But honestly, you can't help that. One thing I learned this past year, everything. I remember saying this clichély that everything works out for our good. But this year, I really believed it. Like I saw how even the things that I thought was a negative was really a positive, teaching me what I did and did not really want, so I could readjust. So I'm even embracing that. Like nothing really feels too negative right now, because once you get proof that you can manifest, you just know it's just part of the journey.
Yeah, for
and you
sure.
just receive it a little bit better. One
of my favorite affirmations that I have affirmations in several places in my home, but right next to my bed, I have two. One is I believe in my ability to figure it out, which is like probably one of my number one affirmations. And then my second one is I am believing for the best possible outcome. And so that gets me through, because even when there is a downside, and there will be some downsides, even when those negative or non-ideal things happen, I still feel like I am believing for the best possible outcome, because so many times we're sitting in a moment, and this moment feels like the worst day on earth, when really, girl, it just took 15 minutes to get through that little moment.
Oh my God. When I tell you this summer is why I feel the way I feel, this has been the most challenging adult summer for me. Even with Barack transitioning from a baby to like a boy, me transitioning like career paths, me just coming back to knowing who Blessin is at a spiritual core little girl level and just facing things that I just didn't even know was there. But coming, like you're catching me coming out of the storm.
Okay.
And when you said I look pretty, it's because I probably feel relieved.
Okay.
So I do believe that my spirit has even been helping me to look more youthful and just like giving up on the pressures of what the world was just trying to put on me.
Okay.
And just understanding just I am because I am and moving in that and moving in the image of God.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than me. I'm already fully equipped. You can't give me anything I already don't have. I just have to go deep and pull it out. And it's been so great.
I love that. Can we talk about it?
Sure.
Okay. So at one point you hired me to be your business coach. Yes. Then I see you in Neo's mastermind. You are also, I think, an active member of Dion's mastermind, Blessin.
Let's talk about it.
You are what I call fighting around these coaches.
Oh my God.
You have been there. You have been fighting around these coaching experiences. And we got to reel it in. What's going on?
Let's reel it in. Okay, so it started with Neo.
Okay.
It started with Neo, and that was just on a humbug, Donnie. That's why this is even more surreal. So I had a separate Instagram page. I have my real one, then I had a separate one when I was just following people that I admired, and most of those people were men. And I had ran into my homegirl, and she introduced me to you. I remember the day I followed you on that page and everything. You were the first female that brought that energy that I was like, oh, shit.
Okay.
I like this.
I mean, you know.
Yes.
I'm known
you
for
gotta
being
give a girl
energetic.
her flowers when she can smell them, okay?
Thank you, Blessin.
Yes, all the time. So then my other homegirl invited me to an event that was happening here in Atlanta. That following, she invited me to two, that event and the Neo's event. And I told her, girl, I'm not going to Miami with you. This was my first introduction to all of this entrepreneurship stuff in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so I was so on fire with the Atlanta event. I was like, oh, girl, we got to go to Miami. So we go to Miami, and you know Neo going to put you on more fire. So I end up joining his mentorship without even thinking about it. It was like, I just met y'all 2 days ago. How am I giving y'all this kind of money?
Yeah.
But that's how energetic it felt. And then right after joining him, he had a social proof interview with you and David. And that's when I was like, damn, I was really supposed to work with Donnie, but look how, even with joining Neo, how I got here.
Yeah.
So it was still like the dots were still being connected. And so I was coming every day, and I was every Wednesday, and I was listening to you. I'm like, this girl just reminds me of myself so much. I love it. So then that mentorship was over, and I was just like, I still didn't do what I was supposed to do in this. Let me reach out to Donnie, since that was supposed to be my first try anyway. And then it wasn't anything wrong that made me backpedal from it. I just realized I wasn't about to do the work for real.
I will agree to that. I'll agree there.
I was like, I don't need to pay another sum of money to do the same thing I've been doing.
Yeah.
So I stopped. And then, but what got me with Dion and I joined Neo's mentorship the same day. So you and Neo would be like professors. Like I met you and you guys are teaching. Dion was a student and I was a student with him. So when I saw the numbers he did, now I'm like, there's no excuse. Because my professors, of course, they can do it. That's why they're teaching me.
Right.
But this boy was my horizontal partner.
Sideline partner is what I call them.
Horizontal partner. And look at the things he's done with digital media and digital projects.
Okay.
So I was like, if he can do it, if they can do it, I can do it too. Let me jump back in there one more time.
Yeah, I mean, because
it ain't for me. That's the bottom damn line.
Are you saying that coaching is not for you?
Coaching is not for me. I don't think the way that you all show up digitally is for me. And I think that's kind of why it was never, like, I never mind quitting, because it just was like, also, I thought it was easier because even with Dion, for an example, he didn't really have a career at that time that he wasn't willing to lose. I had a career that I didn't want to lose, and I was trying to just create extra revenue.
Yeah.
But to create the type of finances and wealth that you all are doing, this is a career itself, and I just wasn't quite mentally ready for that.
Blessin, I'm gonna have to say
Go ahead.
It's not that coaching wasn't for you. I think you weren't ready for coaching.
Okay.
Well, and I can only speak from our experience. I honestly think that, first of all, you're a star, right? And when you say that you get what you want, even though you have to go through all these hurdles to get there, you still get there. You stand out in rooms. Like, you walk in and people want to know who she is. I think at that time that you and I have worked together, and you may have evolved since then, you were trying to package all of your desires into this and make it look like this one thing. And it's not really possible. It's possible, but it doesn't transition well, right? It's possible, yes, for you, but it's confusing to the audience, and so it's still not gonna work. You need a coach that's gonna be able to, like, sit your ass down. This is what the plan is.
Agreed.
This is what the plan is. Nope. Don't look over there. You look at me. And this is what it is, and only what it is. You probably would work so well with someone who was more drill sergeant style rather than people like me who let you talk it through and blah, blah, blah. And we only going to talk it through a couple of times, be clear, before we like, well, what are we doing? But you have so many ideas. And because you know that you can have it all and you believe that you can have it all, sometimes the challenging part for people who are visionary like you is picking which one to have now. Hey, entrepreneur, are you looking for mentorship? Do you ever watch me here on the Social Proof podcast or on Full Transparency and say, you know what? One day I want to work with Donni. Great news. You absolutely can. Join me inside my community, Actionable CEO, where we help to develop new habits, grow you personally, professionally, and financially, help you take massive action in your business, ultimately helping you make more money. It's just $97 a month. We meet every single week. We have a book club. We do live co-working sessions. When I'm in your city, you guys get to connect with me in person and so much more. Don't take my word for it. Go over to actionableceo.com. Check out the page and see if it's a good fit for you. If so, I'll see you on the inside. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I agree. I agree that here's the thing. I'm a risk taker, so I don't ever mind trying something. And I still kind of want to say it really wasn't me as well, because it was me looking at everything other people were accomplishing and wanting those things. And it was like, because even one time you and I were on the phone and I was like, but I see you guys making money online. And you were like, but aren't you making money? And I'm like, yeah, but you guys are making it online. So even with that, I had to figure out sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel. If I figured out how to make money offline, and I can figure out how to make more money offline, and you really brought this home for me, is it even necessary for me to get into the internet streets if I can just figure it out offline like I've been doing?
Listen, that's a bar. That is a bar, because now it's becoming really clear, like what transpired between you and I. Blessin at the time was working in personal injury. You were helping people get the money that they were due in fairness to them if they had been in some type of an accident. And she's like, look, Donni, yes, I do this. And yes, I'm making multiple six figures. But what you do is attractive. And I want to do what you do, right? Meaning I want to make money online. And she had a number goal. And I'm like, well, you're really close to hitting that number goal. We can just really scale this up.
And I did not want to hear it.
And she was
I want to be online, and I want to be online now.
I want to be online and I want to make money.
Yeah.
But what people don't get is, for me, online started in like 2009-ish, right? So I've been building and learning what kind of works online, not even realizing, Blessin, that I was building a business, right? I was just creating, or not creating, but I was allowing people to learn who I was and building creating this know, like, and trust factor, right? And my question was, but if you're making money, why do you need to make it online? What is the fixation with online?
It's almost like with I think our success as entrepreneurs, as Black people, is so beautiful, because once upon a time it was like, if you was a young Black boy, you probably just want to grow up and be a football player, or you just want to be a basketball player, or something along those lines. Like, you probably didn't really dream of really becoming an astronaut or really becoming a doctor. Maybe later in life you bloomed into that, I don't know. And even for little girls, like, you want to be a star, you want to be a singer, you want to be an actress. So I think for me, it was just, and coming from the spirit of wanting to be a star, I literally wrote in my high school yearbook, future superstar. So it was like I didn't fulfill the purpose. So it was like me still wanting to, but I didn't do it on like a because I moved here in a singing group. Like I was supposed to be a star, like a celebrity type star. So I think it was that type of urge, like the money is coming, but I didn't write future millionaire. I didn't write future billionaire. I wrote future star, superstar.
Yeah.
So even with that, what the definition of star means changed for me this summer. I don't have to be Beyonce. I'm a light that most people really, truly do not have. I am a magical energy. You can wish upon a star. I am radiant. I magnify. I am a star. I was born a star. I could have very easily wrote, I will be a future celebrity. I didn't write that either. I said star. I'm here to shine. I'm here to magnify. I'm here for you to catch the rays of this energy. And that I am living up to.
Yeah. And that's also a lesson, like you got to be very specific.
You got to be very
You have
specific.
to be very specific because I think you know that I used to be in a singing group too. I was a rapper, songwriter, singer, all the things. And I was really good.
Spirit, Donnie.
Really good. I was really good. And I thought that, so if, I don't think I won this in high school, but in my friend group, if you had to pick a most likely to succeed, it was definitely me. And I usually hang with really good stock of friends. So all of us were going to succeed, right? But if you had to pick a most likely to succeed, it was always me. And for so long, I thought that we were the next Destiny's Child, baby.
Girl,
you couldn't tell me nothing. And then that didn't happen. But what did happen was I became a star parent. I became a star in my field. Like back at that time, I became a star in the network marketing industry. I became, when I'm on stage speaking and delivering a message, I'm a star, right? And I've created this lane for myself where I own this. So I am the star. Period. You can't dim my light. This is this is ours, right? So we have to define kind of, and I love that you've said that, because there are so many people not going all in on the thing that they do because they're like, but there's more, and I think it's on the internet. And it could be. We're not saying that it's not. It could be. But if what you have works right now, let's scale that up and go all in on what you have. And then I believe that God opens the doors. We don't have to force it. We don't have to put the door in ourselves, put a lock on it, and then kick it open to feel like we're making progress. God's gonna open the doors.
Well, I like sweat equity. So a lot of times I find myself forcing and create, like even in the manifesting, faith without work is dead. And I think people look at me and they get like this queen bee energy, but I'm really the worker bee. Like, what's the assignment? If I'm on board for the assignment, there's no shunning away from that assignment. But again, all of it was necessary. Like where I'm at right now, I feel so fulfilled. I feel like my questions have been answered, and they would not have been answered without each one of those things. And even I'm a loner. Like I'm heavily a loner, and so I thrive better in loner like situations. And even joining all those mentorships, I met people who trade, and now I'm on my way to becoming a professional master trader, and it's all of my skill set. Again, I figured out another way to make money. Offline. Because really people I'm an empath as well. So people think that I'm standoffish in a way. No, I just know if I allow you in my space, I'm going to take in all of that energy. I have to be very protective of that. And I'm such an authentic and honest person that I don't like a lot of BS. So the internet also brings a lot of BS into my real energy, and that really saddens me. So it was hard for me to turn off you not affecting my real person and just showing up for you. So, and I learned that honestly, for me, it's better for my money to be separate from my assignment. So even now, I do feel like God is calling me back to the internet, and it's going to be through podcasting. But I honestly, Donnie, don't have a desire to be online because I'm a money girl. I wanted to make money online. Trading provides me that solution.
Okay, hold on, because you've thrown out the word trading a couple of times. So your business that I met you in, where you were making multiple six figures, accident referral specialist. Okay, so you still have that business. And essentially what that means is you're not an attorney, but you have a referral database of people who come to you and say, hey, Blessin, I've been in an accident. What do I do? You take those cases and you refer them to attorneys, and you get paid a commission.
Yes.
Okay. And you've been able to and so here's the thing. There's somebody right now that hasn't finished law school.
Yeah.
That's saying, I wish I would have gone to law school. And here you are still operating in the legal field. You just found a way around it.
Because we manifest. And but again, the money was the thing. So that's why, again, like how you said, you just naturally was showing up, being your authentic self, and it just grew for you. I was very pressed. Where is the money? And when you're that pressed, you can stop the manifestation from happening until it's a better time for it to happen. So I am in more of a flow. Again, he's answered the money call that I needed, and because of that, he's going to allow me to come back to social media in a way that I'm going to be more authentic. I don't have to sell you anything anymore. I'm just here to really download on you what God downloads on me, and he wants me here. I've solved my money issue. I don't need to see y'all another day in my life and be peaceful. But God knows I have a word, and he wants me to share it. And so now it's like, well, if they come, because before you had to come, like I was depending on you to pay my bills. Like if you didn't come, I couldn't do the things I wanted to do. Those prayers are answered, so I can just show up for people. I can just be a star. I can just be a light. I can just help how I can.
So what you do for money, accident referral specialist, and now it seems like you've learned trading and you're going in that direction. This is strong. This is important. I tend to lean more toward and favor people who are working with some type of purpose and passion attached. But also, I am very clear in teaching people that you don't need to have purpose and passion attached to the thing that you do. People wake up every single day and go and cashier somewhere and executive assist somewhere and do things that are not necessarily attached to a passion.
Right.
They need the money to live. So is it fair to say that what you do for money is literally just for money?
Yeah, I think for me, the separation is better, because what I find when you are online and for the purposes of making money, your truth could get a little it can get foggy. You find yourself saying things to make the sale versus it being the absolute truth. So it might be about 70% true, but 30% is a little iffy. And I just don't like that energy. I'm just such a person of integrity that I would rather just be able to show up 100% in truth and make no money from you, because I got a job.
Yeah.
And that's just my spirit.
But you don't have to operate out of integrity.
I want to. That's who I am.
You want to operate outside of integrity?
No. Oh, I thought you said you don't have to outside of
wait,
it.
what?
No, only in integrity do I want to operate.
So what I mean, though, is to do things like I'm purposefully connected to what I do. And I sell, I teach, I coach, I help people do amazing things in their lives. And I don't want people to misunderstand, because there are so many of us that actually do operate in integrity.
Yes, I
agree. So that feeling that you have, like the promises that we make, I don't make any promises. I just tell you what I do. And this either works for you or it doesn't, right? But I get what you're saying. There are so many people who are operating in a space right now that really just want to be successful. They really need the money, or they really want the status. They want to post their square and stripe screenshots online as well. So they're going to say whatever they have to say to close the deal. And then there are other people who operate in integrity, like me and many of the people that are in my crew. But I understand the frustration that comes with that. Yeah. Because even I sometimes be like, how you sleep at night?
Yeah. And it's not, I thank God that everybody, even me as a person of integrity, it's not that I don't ever tell a lie. Every now and then things happen and things are said, and you sugarcoat the truth and you say what you need to say to win in life. I get it. But to do that every day and sell people on, and not everyone is doing it, and not the whole course may not be around it. But let me just give one example. I had a situation where we were told to like drop our numbers of how much we earned for a certain month. And I had really just made my first internet check, is what I call it, like my social media check from doing some webinars. I made $3,000. I put it in the group chat. And it was like, if you don't get that $3,000 out the group chat, I'm like, but that's what I made. Like, what's wrong with it? Like, I'm ecstatic. You know how many thousands of dollars I paid to learn how to make, this is my first $3,000. I'm ecstatic about this. told me to take it out the group chat.
What?
And put my real numbers in the group chat. I said my real numbers for what I do, like every single day for the past 15 years. It has nothing to do with what I've hired you for. That's what you want me to put in the group chat? Yes. Put that in the group chat. Now I'm the number one earner. I went from the bottom of the totem pole to the top of the totem pole. Then we screenshot that and we put that on the internet.
Yeah.
And I know your intentions were great. I know you wanted to motivate, because it was for me to motivate the peers in the group. Now I'm motivating the whole internet off of my numbers, and that doesn't sit well with what God has me to do.
Yeah, that
I think that works with their overall agenda, because he's definitely putting way more good in the world than bad. And again, to do business on this earth, you got to know how to do business on this earth. It's chess, not checkers. So I get it, but I have another game, and God is I'm just going this way.
Yeah.
No, I understand why we did what we did, but it doesn't work for my spirit. And what does it profit the man to gain the world but to lose his soul? And it just wasn't. My soul was, I was buying the Bentley, I'm buying the watch, I'm buying the house, but my soul is just like, but this is not your assignment, Blessing, and this is why you're not thriving.
You don't have the Bentley anymore?
I still have the Bentley.
Oh.
I'm just saying none of those things.
Wait.
They weren't fulfilling enough. Because
I
really am a spiritual being, and because I was looking at everybody's fleshly accomplishments, I was drifting away from spirit. Literally.
Yeah.
And so God has taken a lot of things from me this summer so I can come back to me, literally. Because that's really the only time we come back for real. When shit hits the fan, it's like, God, only you can do it. The Bentley didn't do it. The watch didn't do it. The coaches ain't doing it. The houses I done did it all. What do I do next? And that's where I am.
So how did you get to the point where, and for clarity, what you were told to do in that group doesn't sit right with me either. It irks my soul, in fact. And we'll talk about that later. But when you are being stripped, because that's the process that it sounds like God was bringing you through. When you are now being stripped and you're like, okay, God, I have the money, I have the things, I have the cars, I have all these things, but I still feel empty. Is that fair to say that that's how you felt?
I didn't know. When did I know I was empty? Ooh, this is good. I didn't know I was empty. So I started trading. And the person that
How'd you get to that? You don't just start trading.
Well, the introduction of trading came through joining the first mentorship. I met a good peer of mine who taught trading, option snipers. And 3 years ago, I started learning how to trade just for an extra couple of $1,000s a week, maybe. But I'm already doing thousands of dollars from my accident business. So even that didn't hold my attention. Because I also learned during this summer, I'm not appreciative of small beginnings. I like lights, camera, action. So when things start small, God has been working with me to appreciate that, gratitude. And so that didn't hold my attention. And then that person introduced me to another person that traded, and the way he traded and the numbers he was talking about, it's just like this internet money. Now you have my undivided. I love money. Like, not even like that. I love the ability of the freedom money provides, because I am a Sag. We're the wildest of the zodiac. We're nomadic. We like to roam, and I need money for that. And I like it how I like it. I like designing my life in a way that just feels so great for me, even if it makes no sense to nobody else. I'm alone. I do what I want to do. I'm not here for you. This is my experience. But back to how I got involved in trading. So those numbers were very appealing. I hadn't even heard any social media coach say they can hit those numbers in that amount of time that this person is hitting those numbers. So because I'm motivated by the coin, let me figure out how to do this. So all summer I've been mastering that craft, and I just love it. I just truly, it's just for me, it's for loners.
Okay.
Well, let me go back to the question. When did I realize I was empty? So trading, once you get exposed to trading, it exposes who you are as a person. And then I started realizing my flaws more than I would on a normal day. And then I just start backpedaling like, how did I get here? How did I become this person obsessed with money?
Yeah.
Why is this even important to me? And then trading, journaling made me take a 40-day fast the best I could from social media because I was cheating. And I just really got quiet. I tuned out everybody's voice. And God just started He's been talking to me because he's always talking to us. But if you're so busy, you can't hear him. Mm-hmm. And because I had intentionally through trading had to figure out why am I making bad trading decisions, because it's a reflection of who you are. It took me back to the Bible. It took me back to the beginning. It took me back to Little Blessing. It took me back to being a baby. It took me back to remembering my purpose.
All of that from trading?
All of that from trading. And I would have never done this if I hadn't went to that first mentorship
Mm-hmm.
meeting about how to make money online.
So to make the picture, to illustrate this more clearly, you say all of this is from trading. You got this self-awareness, mm-hmm. so to speak, from trading. And is it because in the beginning you were making some very terrible decisions, losing money?
When you start trading, it's not even about losing the money, because everybody who starts trading, you're going to lose money. Nobody's going to be a trader out the gate profitably. But you start to learn that it's less of the skill set, more of the mindset that makes you a great trader or not. And I always prided myself on having a great mindset. So I'm like, I should be excellent in this if it's based off mindset. And I wasn't. And I know I was still going to lose, but it was just like also being not even an overachiever, but a girl that's used to putting in the work and getting a check. It was like for the first time I was just working, and I wasn't getting a check back. So it just made me keep diving deeper. Like, why am I so committed to this? Like, you could just continue to do the act. It just really made me pause and just get clear with who I am again. And the person told me that's what trading does. And then that's what it did.
So I used to be a trader. It never did that for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also profitable right out of the gate.
Okay.
I was trading. This was one of my last MLM companies. That's how I actually got started in it. And I realized that in that company, kind of like what you experienced in that particular program where people were posting like fictitious things that weren't necessarily true.
Mm-hmm.
That was happening. So I pulled away from the company, but I enjoyed the act of sitting down and trading my money and making money in
mm-hmm.
return.
Mm-hmm.
And for me at that time, I'm not a good trader to this day. And it was a very short-lived experience, but only because I got super busy doing other things
mm-hmm.
and based on the way that I traded.
Yeah.
So I did the scalp trading,
mm-hmm.
the market, which is where you sit down, you have to be at your computer,
mm-hmm.
you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out, and we're picking these plays all day. Me and 5 or 6 of my friends will get together at my place
mm-hmm.
and we're trading, we're making money, right? And one day I get a call on the phone and I've got open trades.
Uh-huh.
I get a call and it's a client that's dealing with an emergency. So I walk away from the computer, Blessin.
Oh my gosh.
For like 12 minutes.
Mm-mm-mm.
When I came back to that
mm-hmm.
computer,
mm-hmm.
the loss, I guess there was a lesson there, but you don't walk away when you're scalping the market.
I turned the phone off.
I walked away from that computer for no more than like 12 minutes.
Girl.
And I didn't have a stop loss set.
Yeah.
So I come back and I'm like, dear God.
That quick?
That quick.
It could have easily do it the other way, Lord.
It could have easily gone the other way. So the lesson that day was you cannot walk away from the computer. So being the competitive edge person that I am, I have to get back in there now
mm-hmm.
because now I have to make that money back and I'm Donni, so I got to double the goal, right? And so I get back in there and I'm making money, but I, opposite of you, started to feel myself becoming money hungry there.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to step back because
I'm having the opposite effect.
I've never been money hungry,
mm-hmm.
right? I operate in purpose and the money comes to me.
Yeah.
Just like God has given me talent, skills, and abilities that make me say, if I do the things that I really, really love
mm-hmm.
and my intention is focused and my integrity is there, I'm going to make money. And that's just what works for me.
Yeah.
Not to say that I won't trade again because there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. They're trading money all around us right now, right? That's the way the world works. But I felt that one loss put me in a mindset where all I could think about was money.
Yeah.
And I felt myself going down a very dangerous path.
So when I I would spend thousands of dollars between coaches, and I would quit. Like, I just don't want to do this no more. Trading was like the only thing that was like, but I'll do it until I master it. I'll like, I had already made up in my mind, like, this is the big one for me. Like, this is the answered prayer, like, that I've been looking for. And yeah, it's just crazy how that's why we're all individuals and why things work for others and that doesn't work for you. But I think with the separation of the money and the separation of the purpose for me is going to allow me to be more purposeful, since I do lead with money.
Listen, multiple ways to skin a cat.
Multiple ways to skin
a cat. What do you think, though, happens when you're not making the money? Who is blessing when you don't make any money whatsoever?
That's a wonderful question. So we dealt with all of that this summer. So I don't come from money.
Okay.
I grew up in a single parent home for the most part. My mom got married when I was about 13, but I tell people I was born with the old soul. So even when she got married at 13, I knew what that was. I knew that my mother was looking for provision for her family, and she loved them, but I knew that was more of a provision move more than anything. But what I thought about was my mother, to this day, is just a ball of joy. Like, my mom had 2 kids that passed away before me. That's why she named me Blessing. She's never complained about that to me a day in her life. She's just like, but God gave me 2 more. Like, stuff could just be falling apart. And my mom is just always in this very joyful spirit. She's always taught me about daily bread and not trying to hoard things up for tomorrow. Like, God will always provide. My mom never really held a job, and I never felt broke. I always had the best of everything. And I was just like, I used to ask her as a child, like, how are you doing this? And she would literally just tell me God, literally. And my mother never had men over. My mom never... If I woke up at 3:00 in the morning and went to my mom's room, she was there. It was just literally manna from heaven falling down on my household, taking care of us. So when money became an issue for me this summer, God gave me a word because I was so quiet. I was literally watching Moses on Netflix, the Promised Land story. And he was like, we can no longer focus on generational curses. We got to focus on generational blessings. And because of your obsession with money, that is going to be your generational blessing that I'm going to allow you to pass down to your family going forward, because no one's been money conscious like you. We're going to take it from I need money to, no, I want to master the thought process of money and how that provides freedom for my family. But I'm not going to give you that until you learn to have the joy of your mother, because your mother is you're passing something down from her too. Because we got to start focusing on, so generational curses, we don't really know enough of our ancestors to really say what curses they're passing down to us. We're just making shit up. Like, why are we claiming that? When we can focus on the things I've seen my grandmother do that was positive, the things I've seen my mother do that was positive. I've seen them do some bad things. Guess what? I'm going to leave that here, but I'm going to write the good things down and give this to my son Barack for him to focus on. And God was like, I'm going to let you be the financial blessing if you can master joy. You got to learn how you can be joyful when there's nothing. And that's what we've been doing this summer. It's been my brokest summer ever. The accident business has been doing things beyond my control, some in my control from just not being interested. And the bank account has hit the lowest it's ever hit because God is testing my joy. Like, when I bless you with this money from trading that you know you're going to do, and because trading is so fluctuable, you got to figure out how to just be in the light every single day. And your job is to pass that joy on to Barack, your money on to Barack, intentionally, purposefully. And then he's going to figure out what his gift is. We're going to start writing this down, and we're going to hand the book over generation to generation. Never did I was not thinking like this before this summer. It wasn't until I got quiet that I realized how powerful my spirit, like, blessing ain't nothing. Like, the stuff I thought I was doing as worker bee blessing, and that bee energy I was coming with, like just letting people feel like you can little girl me. Nah, she's back, but she's back spiritually, and I'm made in God's image, and I have a dominion over the whole world. I can do anything, be anything, say anything that I want, and I believe it. But I had to get low before I can get high, and I'm high right now.
So as you're talking about mastering joy, it takes me way back to a period of my life Mastering joy, let me tell you, I believe is my number one cheat code to everything that happens great to me in my life. I believe that mastering my joy is, I have on no makeup right now, right? I am 45 years old. And if I go outside, people are always really shocked that I'm 45 years old. And I believe that this is a reflection physically. My physical, what I've manifested physically is a reflection of mastering joy. My career is a result of it. I think back to the period of the first recession that I ever experienced as an adult. And you've heard me tell this story, where I lost everything. Houses in foreclosure, home in foreclosure, cars repossessed. I had no money. When we went through that experience with that recession, I didn't have I made a lot of money at that time, but because of my poor relationship with money, I didn't have enough money to last more than 6 months. Right. And so I had to make some decisions. I had to decide to let the house go because I needed more time with the money that I did have to be able to provide for my daughter. And so I moved back. I'll never forget this day. I moved back in with my mom. And me and my daughter are in my childhood bedroom. We're sharing a bed. And I remember before moving back in with my mom, right before making the decision to share my own story on social media. At this time, Facebook was like, the thing. And so the reason was because, remember, I said, if you had to vote most likely to succeed, it would be me. And because I was doing so well, I was at that time in real estate. I was a real estate agent, selling all the houses and condos, and I lost everything. And so I'm like, man, if such and such beats me to my story, then I won't be able to overcome this.
Gotcha.
Because I didn't want anybody to be able to tell the story of my shortcomings, to tell the story of my lowest moment differently than how it happened. And this became a thing when I went to the food stamp office. And I'm in the food stamp office. Shout out to Pam Jones. Hey, Pam. From Westlake High School. The person who I run into, who I have to have the interview with, to get food stamps was Pam Jones. And I went to high school. The likeliness
of all of that.
Girl, I went to high school with Pam Jones. And Pam and I were always kind to each other. We were friends. We were cheerleaders together. But because it's Denitra, that's my name, because it's Denitra in the food stamp office, I had no reason to believe she would ever, but my mind just went to all the possibilities of what she would do with this information. Girl, Denitra in here, she getting food stamps. She brought her daughter in here telling a sad story. And, and I think at that time you kind of have to lie and say that the daddy ain't around. You know what I mean? You got to, not that I lied, but
you gotta do what a girl got to do for her babies, okay?
I don't know what the statute of limitations are right there. But you got to fill the application out in a way. And so, Blessin, I could not sleep that night. I was physically nauseated thinking about Pam calling all of our mutual friends, all the old cheerleaders who are doing stuff. They're married. So I had to tell my story, girl. And when I told the story, when I started to share what I was experiencing, and the response that I got from it was like, oh my God, thank you for sharing this because I'm going through it. Thank you. Like in that season, got so many messages from people who said, I saved them from suicide and I saved them from ending it all and leaving their families. I felt so fulfilled and just mastered my own joy in a way that even though everything around me was falling apart, on the inside, I was so high and filled and happy. Brings me to the day. One day I'm laying on my bed. The TV is on and I'm laughing at something on TV. I've got my laptop on my lap because I'm trying to find a job. And the TV is on, and my mom walks past my bedroom. She's about to go downstairs. She walks past my bedroom, looks over, and then she comes back. And she's like, I don't understand what you in here laughing about. Like, what do you have to be happy about? And my response was, being sad and angry isn't going to help me. I choose to be happy. And that was such a pivotal moment for me because I realized that Denitra Bianca Wiggins is happy outside of the handbags. I am happy outside of the cars. I'm happy outside of the status. I am happy outside of the man. I am actually genuinely happy on the inside, and this is only joy that I could have gotten from God. Because I had nothing. I'm sharing Happy Meals with my daughter. I can't even eat a full meal. I have nothing to praise about, but everything to praise about. And I chose to go through that situation that way. And it's just a time in my life that impacted me so much that when people say, oh, you're this and you're that and you're unmarried and you got to be miserable. And I try my best to just share with women, like, once you find pure joy, situations might not be ideal, but they don't break you.
I think I just came up with this comfort happiness. Like, I didn't know, I might not even have been sad, but I just reached a certain level of happiness and I was okay with stopping there. Like, I'm like, well, I'm sure everybody's not extremely happy. I'm not extremely sad. I guess I'll be right here. And even that is a trick of the devil to be like, I got her, because I know if she's real sad, she's going to go hard. Because I did. But if I just keep her like confused about what happiness really is, she won't try to be anything greater. And I think that's where we were. Like, I was in a comfort zone with money, so that's why I didn't take my coaches seriously. I'm not doing all that work. I got money. I'm in a comfort zone with happiness. I ain't happy, but I ain't sad. Like, all of the girls I grew up with ain't doing none of what I got going on. They are looking at me on Instagram like, oh my God, Blessing, you're doing these amazing things. And every single time I'm like, this shit ain't even amazing. This is what you're supposed to do as a human being. So now I'm not even being in gratitude. I'm just like, I'm just being normal. What you mean you don't have this? You're 37 years old. You need me to help you pay your bills? That doesn't make any sense. And so another thing I'm really grateful for is watching the movie Inside Out. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Oh my God. It's a kid's movie.
Okay.
So I took my little 5-year-old to go see it, but it has blessed my soul tremendously, part 1 and part 2. And Inside Out, y'all cut me a check. And so it made me realize how joy actually.
She gonna get the check. All right. Look, we're talking about happiness and being filled, but cut me my check.
Cut me my check. And so the movie gave me a new definition, a visualization actually of what joy is. So previously, like, I always thought of my mom, who's this bubbly, never complaining woman. I'm like, girl, this is just a supernatural power. Like, this is beyond normal. I remember moving to Atlanta and my mom calling me like at 22, 23. Hey, Blessing, good. I'm like, girl, it's before 9 o'clock.
Calm down.
Bring it down a notch. I started meeting women in Atlanta who had trifling ass mamas. And I was like, this is a thing? You're competing with your mom? Your mother's jealous of you? You've been molested? Your mama knew? And so now I'm like, oh my God, like, I really have God as a mother. And I have to appreciate that joy that she calls me with, because none of my friends, none of them are able to give this testimony that I'm able to give about my mom. But back to the Inside Out point, joy. So there's a control board each one of us have in our heads. And each emotion is played by a character. So you got joy, you got sadness, you got anger, you got anxiety, you got embarrassment. And it just basically shows you how all of them are necessary, but too much of them at the control panel for too long of a time is what sends you into dysfunction. So joy is the main character. Joy is the first emotion that we get when we're born. And then it shows how sadness creeps in, like the baby's a couple of days old, and then this second character shows up in this sadness. And joy is like, girl, get away from me. But the real point I want to make here is that it taught me that joy wasn't necessarily this bubbly person 24/7. Joy is the problem solver. So when sadness is up there too long, it's up to joy to come figure out how to get her ass out the way.
Oh, that's good.
When anger is up here too long, it's up for joy to go mastermind how we get him out the way. When embarrassment is taking over, because we just need a little bit so we don't act a fool. But embarrassment, you got me feeling like a second-class citizen. You got to go get out the way. And joy is the character that figures out how to get back to the light. So I'm not the bubbly joy, because the devil was trying to make me feel like I had no joy. The movie proved, Blessing, you do have joy. You are the joy. You're the problem solver.
Yeah.
Every single time something comes up, you're a real authentic self, which is joy, which your mama has taught you, which you think you don't have because the devil wants to make you forget your identity. You actually do have it. She is working. That's why you're here.
The conversation could really be over at this point. I mean, we ain't got nothing else to talk about. That was good.
That movie.
Now I actually want to. Is this in theaters right now?
Kids. Inside Out 2 is. So go home and watch it.
I'll go Netflix or something.
Yes,
Prime,
1
maybe,
and then 2, and it just kid movie, but it's one of the best. It's just so simplistic in visualization of how your emotions work and how you're in control.
It's so good because I think. And people have to understand the difference between having a sad moment and having a sad life. Being angry in a situation and being an angry person, right? And so it's to your point, crying doesn't mean that you don't have joy. Having a heartbreak doesn't mean that you can't have joy. Like literally grieving the loss of somebody doesn't mean that you don't have joy. Joy is what shows up to make you say, I'm in this season right now, but I am believing for the best possible outcome. That's what joy does.
And I'm going to
for
make sure you get there.
And I'm going to make sure, like, joy is that tap on the shoulder that says, girl, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
And joy has shown up for me so many times.
There's not a problem. You just got to feel this. I'm going to let you feel it. You can't feel it too long. That's how you lose. But feel it and then come back to the joy.
Yeah. That's a powerful place to be in. And I think I just actually in my my community, we're doing monthly challenges now, like having an intense and intentional focus about something. And I think in this month, we are going to focus on joy.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a joy challenge.
Yeah.
Girl, that just
Cut
blessed me, Blessing.
Oh,
that just blessed me, Blessing.
well, that's what I do.
Yes.
I'm here to be a blessing.
Yes,
but honestly, Donnie, what you just said is what I do. Like, that is my gift. That is what I've been doing. I have homegirls like, they just call me for joy because I don't have like you said, you have 2 affirmations you go to. I don't have that. I just know I'm the half full girl. The glass is half full with me no matter what it is. So if you come to me with a problem, I'm joy. I'm going to see the half full side of this. You're not going to probably like it. You're probably not going to want to do it. It might even be very hard.
Yeah.
But this is how we come out of this. And that is my role in people's lives. So even like the podcast that I want to start, I started it before and it just wasn't what it needed to be. Even now, my podcast really doesn't even need to be visual. It really should just be recordings of me talking to my peers on the phone and the breakthroughs that we have. It's just like, it just should be recordings of my conversations because they get so, I stop and say, Blessing, did you just come up with that? Because it's just so magnificent. And that's just God allowing me to hear him better.
Yeah.
And he just downloads in me. And I even tell my friends, I'm selfish, extremely self-centered. So even when I'm giving this word to you, it's really a word for me.
All the time.
But I'm able to give it so poetically and so intensely and so passionately because honestly, friend, I don't really care what you do with your life if I keep it a buck. It's your life. If you want to go be trifling or date these dudes or pick that job, you got to figure that out on your own. But when I'm talking to you, this is what I would do. And this is my life. And life is nothing but a decision. You're going to choose the light or you're going to choose the dark. You're going to eat good today. You're going to eat bad today. You're going to exercise today. You're not going to exercise today. It's just decisions. And I just do a good job of picking better decisions than most people. And then I'm accountable for when I pick the wrong one and then I dissect it. How did I get here? How do I correct it? How do I get back to my joy as fast as possible?
Yeah. You said something is actually one of my favorite things to say is that the quality of your life is based on a series of decisions that you make.
I've saved a lot of souls this summer. Like hearing people tell me like this guy, he's a Sagittarius. I'm a Sagittarius. So I think we're just money driven people. I don't know. But he's like, oh my God, I just think we're meant to be. I'm like, nah, King, and you just like the God in me. Because he's like telling me how he's not really into God like that. It's not me. It's the God that you're feeling through me. I tell people all the time, like my assignment is like to bring out the king and queen in people, like to bring that energy of who you really are. And knowing that that's from God. Like this glow is not the makeup. This is from the inside. out. I feel like a new woman. Like I love it here. And I'm not even, it's not even financially anymore. It's just like, Blessin is that girl.
Blessin is that girl.
Blessin is that girl.
So let me ask you, are you dating now? Are you single, dating, involved?
I'm single.
Okay.
There's a guy I like, but I'm single.
Girl, there's a guy you like. Okay. How does this version of who you are work for you in relationships?
Ooh, this is good. It works because, I remember maybe just a year ago being like, I know I would be an asset to them, but it was like, I almost was giving them a little prize energy. Like, if I get him, this will be a good prize for me, if that makes any sense. Like, this connection would be a great prize for me. I lost me being the prize energy. And I'm back there like, no, it could be you, King. It could be you. It could be the homeless man on the street. Because what I got going on inside of me right now that I've realized my true being, I can turn anything on. So before I was kind of feeling like I need somebody to turn me up. Now I'm like, you still got to be turned, because two turned people's extra turned. But I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be great. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be joyful. And even with that, my husband needs this energy. He needs me to be all that I can be so he can be even greater. So this conversation that I had with my friend that I liked the other day was
Does he know that you like him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We had this conversation, and God had given me a word, but better. And when I first got this word, I was talking about this guy to someone. And I was like, I can get better. I deserve better. Then this transition, I got this last year at InvestFest. This word was downloaded on me last year at InvestFest. It changed from he could be better to like, I need to become better. Just but better in general. Like the but better just kept transforming as what it meant. But at first it was like I could pull somebody a better man, or he needs to become a better man, and then we can be. And then it was, I need to become a better woman. Okay, so to the point, right? The but better point. What is my point that I'm trying to make here? Oh, I told him, I said, we can always get somebody but better. Because when we get the better person, there's an even better person than that. But I think with your heart, your passion, your potential, the way you love, my heart, my passion, my potential, and the way I love, I know we're both committed to becoming but better individually. If we do how you do anything is how you do everything. If we bring that energy to a relationship, because you do it with the money, you do it with your relationship with God, you do it with your son, I do it with my son. We've both been challenged in the relationship department, but we know we can bring out the excellence. Let's bring that energy to each other. Then we won't need a but better person. We just promise each other we'll continue to be but better individually, which just brings but better energy to the relationship.
So what's his response to that?
He's like, you've given me a lot I can tell. He was like, ooh, nobody's talked to me like this before. Like, you've given me a lot to think about. So this was just a couple of days ago. So we should see.
So I just kind of feel like, and I love it. I am constantly on my journey. I talk about this. I've been talking about this for years. Constantly on my journey of becoming the best version of me, right? And so if you understand what that actually means, you know that you're never not on that journey. Until you die, you will constantly be on a journey to becoming the best, most evolved version of you. But to your point about him saying, wow, you've given me a lot to think about in terms of if he's actually going to go in and take you up on that. I just kind of feel like you ain't got to think about me.
I do feel that way too, but...
And if you have to think about me, I'm off you instantly.
I feel you. Two things I want to say. My mom reminded me that my very first poem that I ever knew or anything I ever recited was this poem. It was called Good, Better, Best. I would never let it rest until my good becomes better and my better becomes best. I just want to throw that out there. And then secondly, I don't like people having to think on me either, Donnie. I really don't.
I don't
it
like
ain't
it.
Really sitting well.
I don't like it for me, and I'm not liking it for you.
It ain't really
either.
sitting well with my soul. So that's why I'm single still. So it could be, it could not be. We don't know. But it was an epiphany, and it was said, and you ain't got too long to think, my brother. But with that being said, knowing this young man's goals, knowing my goals, sometimes you do need to think. sometimes you do need to process. Sometimes you need to go take this to God. Because even the other day, I had a conversation with a new man on the phone. He was so intentional. I felt his spirit. It was like, Blessing, you said you wanted a Boaz. And it was like, boom. I had to recant. I was like, I don't want a Boaz because I'm not Ruth. I don't need to be saved. I am a queen. I just join up with kings and we just conquer. I ain't really a Ruth spirit. But I said that to say, I literally got off the phone and I said, I can't call this man back. I got to process this because his spirit was so intentional. I'm not about to play with you, king. And I'm not just about to say anything to you because I'm going to be accountable for that because you reap what you sow. And I know you're a man on a mission. So I just even told him, like, I get why he needs to think a little bit. Picking your partner is the most important decision you can make.
Yeah.
If you need to meditate on that, I'm going to get out of my ego.
Yeah.
And allow you to take that to God and get clear. And I'm going to allow God to talk to me too, because also different people, different men, different friendships get a little bit more wiggle, like a joker who ain't got shit going on. Nigga, you can't, excuse me if I got too real, y'all.
You good.
You cannot think about that question. I just handed you a lifeline. But this man, I really do believe in him. And I think he really does believe in me. Yeah. And we just really got to hear, and we're both spiritual people. We need a minute to hear from God and make sure it's a wise decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel what you're saying.
I hear you. Trust me.
I do. But it's just something about,
I trust
let me
me.
think about it. Let you think about what? Me?
But the actions
the
have improved. It's a very new conversation. I'm going to give him some time.
So prior to this conversation, you guys were just acting as platonic friends.
We've had moments, but it's been more friendship than anything.
I like a man. I favor a man. And I'm single. So by no means is my desire. It could be why I'm single, right? I typically, though, favor a man who is a pursuer of me. It's just, to me, that's what men do. Men pursue women. I believe it was Laterris Whitfield who said in our episode, he said that men pursue and women present. And that resonated so much with me. I am going to present myself and be clearly available. I am going to express my interest in you. And I'm doing it because I've already thought about it, right? I'm here, right? But that's all I'm willing to do. Yeah. You have to pursue me. Yeah. Man. Like you just do. And that I'm not a pursuer of men. And I think that there's a line that gets blurred a little bit when we're selling ourselves, like, or even what our situation could be. And I as I'm thinking about it, I feel mixed ways about it because also I believe that people rush into relationships too much. Yeah. But it's not because I think we need to think about it. Yeah. I think it's because we need to actually build something like a friendship. I think us spending time and creating bonds and making memories and building friendships and laughing and having experiences, that's your time to think about it. Yeah. Like that's your time to recognize the wife in me, or to say, no, I just see a friend in you.
Well, so many points I could make to that. First of all, the first one I think it's the most important point is I'm a new woman.
You're a new woman.
Yeah.
I love it.
I am actually a new woman. So even though we've been in communication for some time, the blessing that he's getting most recently, she wasn't even here before. And I even remember David asking me, like, why do you think you're single? And my response to him was because God is working on me to get in the rooms that my husband would actually even be in. I'm single because it would have been impossible. It almost feels like it should have been impossible for me to get married before having this awakening. Like, this awakening is a wifely awakening. Like, knowing who you are at your core is what you need to lead with getting, manifesting, attracting. What was the word you used? When he's finding you?
Pursuer.
When he's pursuing me. Like, this is her. all the men who see me before her really would have chose wrong.
Yeah, and I feel that. And
I would have chose wrong because I was choosing from needy energy.
Absolutely. Now that part I feel.
And I no longer need. I need to, can you submit to God so I can submit to you?
Absolutely. That part we don't disagree on. So that's actually what.
But I don't disagree with you, Donnie. My prayer was the Boaz energy. Then I felt it. I just don't think it's a black and white answer.
That's fair.
Even with this, I believe even with your real, a husband or maybe like a twin flame or like a female friend that's just like your real friend, is usually sometimes some things that don't even make any sense that prove that it's the reason why it does make sense. So I don't believe in dating men for potential. Like, you either bring it to the table or you don't. But I found myself when I'm doing my visualizing exercises that this one man just kept showing up. And I would wake up trying to shake him out of it. Like, you don't even belong in my visualization. Like, this is a clean, generic visualization for me that has nothing to do with you. The Holy Spirit said it's okay to dream.
Yeah, and it is. But to that point, it's like you don't date potential, right? So when someone says to me, if someone said to me, you've given me a lot to consider. Let me think about it.
Think about it.
It, to me, is saying, let me weigh my options.
Go weigh them.
And let me think about your potential.
Do what you need to do, King.
But you don't date potential. So you don't date potential, but you're okay with someone assessing yours.
I feel like there is I feel that there was a person that I've mentioned to you before that I had a little bit of a crush on. And even in that, I recanted to even him directly. I'm like, it's something about your spirit, King, that kept drawing me to you. And now that I've done this self-work, I realize it's not really even about us being romantically involved. It's just, even if we're platonically involved, it's something about your spirit that I'm just drawn to. I know I'm a stranger, but spirit is speaking, and I'm just going to share the information with you. Do with it what you will. And sometimes people receive that, and sometimes people don't. My spirit resonates with this man more than my blessing in the flesh does. Like, the blessing in the flesh more agrees with what Donnie is saying. My spirit keeps drawing me back. So, like I said, he normally shows up in my dreams. Last night, he showed up in my past. It was almost like we were in the Western and he was like, we're going to get separated, but remember me. Like, this is so good. It was like, how am I going to remember me? And something was just like his voice. It's something about his voice that speaks to me. And even with that, I looked up, I'm like, have I heard this voice before? But you know how when you look up and you're trying to recall something for real, because it means it happened for real. So I looked up as if I've heard this voice before. It's just crazy how he speaks to me in spirit that I think is worth letting him evaluate his spirit. Because what the flesh wants and what the spirit wants are usually two different things. It's very rare that they are in alignment. And because I'm leading with spirit now, what my normal rules and regulations, that ain't God's rules and regulations. Like, spirit we can't begin to think about how God does what he does and why he does what he does and the lifetimes we've lived and the lifetimes we're going to live. We can't create a moon. We can't create a star. Sometimes it's just not the protocol that God works in mysterious ways.
He does.
That things come together.
So there is an old wives' tale, and you probably have heard this before, that says, like, our grandmothers and great-grandmothers have said, marry a man who loves you more than you love them. Have you heard that before? What do you think about that? Marry
a man that loves you. I don't like that rule. We're powerful manifestors. We have proof that we can have all the things that we want. Grandma didn't know no better. Grandma worked with the faith grandma had. I got more faith because my grandma gave me what she got, and each generation builds upon it. I'm going to get it all. I got a horoscope that says well, not even that I believe in horoscopes to that degree, but I love a confirmation. I love synchronicities. I love signs and wonders. And I was already feeling it. Like, I don't have to, my man is going to love me just as much as I love him. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be he loves me more, he loves me less.
Yeah.
We're just going to love each other. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And I believe that me and my man are going to be on a mission bigger than what we see right now. Like, generations will change because of this union. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, like, the other day, I was even like complaining like he doesn't send me enough flowers. And I promise you, like, some women get flowers and some women slay giants. And I'm a slayer of the giants. Like, I may not get the flowers. I got other things to do. The flowers are nice, but it's not my end all be all. If I find a warrior, and warriors think about fighting. Warriors think about conquering. Warriors think about the future. I will be a better assignment to a warrior king than a king that just sits around and points at things to get done, because we gonna go to war. Mm-hmm. And I just realized who I am. I'm ready to fight. Baby, you ready to fight? And I can just see us being like Batman and Catwoman and just out there kicking butt.
Okay.
And so when we come home, we're probably not, doing roses and stuff. We're like, figuring out how to take over the world, like how to be billionaires, literally. Mm-hmm. We both want that.
You both want that.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want you both to be clear. Mm-hmm. Yeah, clear. And again, there's more than one way to skin a cat, for sure. For sure. And I'm thinking about, I've never been told that before, but I'm thinking about what my response would be if someone says, let me think about it.
You gotta, it's okay. It might not be your assignment, but God has been dealing with me and my ego. Like, step out of.
Well, and this isn't, for me, it's not even about ego more than it is about his intention.
Yeah.
And that's a little different for me. And it depends on what he has to think about, number one. Mm-hmm. It depends on the bond that we've created thus far. Like, is this new? Have we been spending time as to where you should already have been evaluating this, and I mean this in the most sincere way. It's not ego for me. It's like, but you got to be interested in me in a way for me to even respond. We both have to give each other something to respond to. And it's just a matter of interest, because from what I understand about men is when they want you, they pursue you, and you don't have to question.
I think there is more than one way to skin a cat. For sure. I don't think that any relationship is one way or another. Like, so.
Does he have until the end of the week? That's all I'm saying. Like,
he has until God said he don't have it no more. And I'm going to know when that is. Yeah, but right now he has grace.
So what does Blessin do in the process, in the grace literal grace period that you're giving him?
She gets better every day.
Do you continue to date?
So Blessin is so the answer to that is yes.
Okay.
I just don't. So I'm one of the main reasons I wanted to do this interview with you is because I just love great conversation. Mm-hmm. I'm a conversationalist. I love depth. So I was like, oh, this is going to be good. I cannot wait to talk to my sister.
Has it been?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I don't find myself attracted to enough people to even want to date them. So I would date other people, but I don't usually experience an energy that makes me want to even have dinner with you. Like, and I don't need a free dinner. So it's just like, I would rather be home in the comfort of my home than experiencing your energy. So I really am home more than anything. So when a man gets my attention, I kind of do lean into it a little bit more probably than you do.
No, I lean.
Because it's like, it's not even very often that I even feel anything about anybody, period.
Girl, we are the same.
You have me a little fluttered. So now I really want you to be like, nah, you it, but nobody really flutters me like you. So now I got to give you a grace period to let you whatever.
So we're very similar in that aspect. Girl, I be at home.
I'm home.
I am at home. I would write. It's safe in my house. It's comfortable in my house.
Barack is in Savannah. Been in Savannah for a week. I've been out good. Not one time in Atlanta.
It smells good in my home. It's clean in my home. I have all the things that I need. So while people think, based on what you see on Instagram, I be posting pictures and videos from weeks later, right? But I am a home. And I don't like to own the word homebody because if there's a reason for me to be out,
Yeah.
I'm going to be out. But I say
You're
that to
in control of your life.
I am in control of what I'm doing with
There's
my
a
life.
lot of women who have to be out because they can't sit with themselves.
That part, but also I have realized recently that when someone catches my attention, it's because they have intentionally expressed interest in that way, just for starters, right? And when they do, if I see potential there, if I see that, okay, I will typically lean into that, all in, until we decide to do something different.
I got something to say. Gave this young man a timeline already. You had missed the mark, King, like, because you playing with me. Came across this thing on Instagram about signs and wonders. It was like, if you see this, you see this, you see this, you see this, consider these things when they happen in your life. And it was like rainbows, 12-11 or 11-11, like ladybugs, like a penny, like stuff, not even a penny, that wasn't on there, but just stuff you could walk out your house and easily find. Like, Queen, what are you really saying? Like, anybody can stumble across these things. But one of the things that she mentioned was coins. And I said, if I find some coins, I'm going to take this message to heart, because coins is something that I don't usually just come across. Found the coin, a big gold coin with a Sagittarius on it. People who know me tell me I have a memory like an elephant. Like, I remember everything because I am an attentional listener. I cannot begin to tell you where I got this coin from. It was the next day after reading this post. Found the second damn coin, Donnie. It had this man's name on it. Cannot tell you where this coin came from. The next day, I found the third coin, identical to the first coin. What I took from that is, I'm the Sagittarius, obviously, and it's always going to be whatever's best for me. But why did he show up on this other coin? Why does he keep showing up after I cut him off? Like, that's just one thing. Like, I can go on and on and on about how he shows up spiritually. So this is why I had to reopen the lines of communication, because I'm like, Blessing in the flesh has already dealt with this.
I have a question. And we don't have enough time for it to go really deep.
Okay.
But when I hear stuff like that, I wonder for the person, because we know that the devil puts distractions in our face too, right? How do we know that these are signs of God and not signs from the devil, like distracting you, throwing you off? How do we know that these are signs that are saying, hey, there's something here, pay attention, or hey, let me distract her real quick so she goes all in here? So
the devil is good at his job. So if this is the devil, he's doing an excellent job. And if this is the devil and he's trying to trap me, if one is going to be weak, this is the trap you're going to fall in. So it shouldn't be easy for me to fall into a trap.
Okay.
The devil is going to have to be extremely crafty to get me in his trap. And devil, if you're going through all these measures to trap me over here, well, shit, it's like eating the apple. You gotta. That's how good these signs have been. Why did Eve eat that apple if she was in the garden with everything? Because you had to be real good to have her. And if you can get me off of that, I guess we about to eat this damn apple.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that's just how good it's been. And the glass is half full with me. So I got to lean in. Time will tell. We always get what we want. God has already, if he's done it before, he'll do it again.
Absolutely.
And has he ever failed us? Have we ever not gotten what we want? Have we lost? The loss just brings you closer to your yes. So even if he is a no, look at how almost perfect this was.
Yeah.
That means I'm getting better. This ain't even a reflection of you, King. I'm actually becoming the woman that can attract what I'm desiring. I'm getting warmer and warmer and warmer every time, because the one before you could have been the one, but he wasn't the one.
Yeah.
But you are even better than him.
I'm glad you said that.
And the next one, if you don't decide accurately, gonna be better than you. So if I was you, get your mind right.
I'm glad you said that God gives us what we want again in this moment, because there are so many women and men who are confused with like, but I wanted him. Let's just call him Dan. I wanted Dan, God. Like I told you, I wanted him and you didn't give me Dan. And what I've learned is that it's not that you wanted Dan.
Mm-hmm.
It's what Dan brought to your table.
It's him or the spirit of him would be my husband. Is this guy or I've been introduced to the spirit of what I am literally attracted to.
It's just like we don't really crave the lamb chop. We crave its condiments. We crave that finished product. And so I say that to women who are watching this or men who are watching this. Sometimes you feel like God isn't working in your favor and he's not giving you what it is that you want, and that's not true. What you want might not be named this particular man, right?
Yeah.
But God didn't give you the Dan, I think is the name that I use. God didn't give you Dan because Dan didn't have everything that you wanted. You want flowers? Dan's not bringing you flowers. You want a man who's going to protect? Dan's not the protector, right? But he had the good sex. He had great conversation. He had a little bit of money and all those things. God didn't answer your call for Dan because there's Mike over here who does all those things, and Mike is really your guy.
And I'm going to get Mike because just like I said, if it wasn't for me joining all these programs, I believe that trading is a gift for me. I'm so grateful for it. But I had to go through all the Dans, all the Mikes, all the Pauls, all the Joshes, even some Brendas, even some Lindas, even some Tashas, even Michelle before I got here. But each one got me here. He may not be it. I like how
but he might.
And he might. I'm open. He could be. He has but better energy, because none of us have it all. But I can see.
What does he have again? Show me
that
more.
but better energy, baby. He got that but better energy.
Is that the energy he got?
Ooh, he got that but. Oh, I'm sorry. He has but better energy.
Okay.
And which means he's not perfect, and there is room for improvement. And I'm not perfect, because I was thinking this. I know we got to wrap it up, girl. As a single lady, and how I be looking half the damn time just in my own little world, and the shortcuts I take because nobody's paying attention.
Yes.
If I was exposed, would he like me? If he saw everything that's going on in my home, and not just, hey baby, when y'all call, and how I'm really living as a single bachelorette.
Yeah.
I have so much room for improvement.
Me too.
So if he wants to agree for us to get in but betterment together, that's motivation for me. That's motivation for him. But I know we're committed to goals.
Yeah.
I know we both get what we want. And that inspires me. Like that belief system is everything for me. And I love that energy. I love the but better energy, because none of us have it all together.
None of us have it all together. And that is the truest thing that we could have said in this episode today. None of us have it all together. We're all figuring this out. I could defend my perspective. You can defend your perspective. But the truth is, everybody's figuring it out. And those people who believe that they figured it out, the people that we think have figured it out, they took their own path as well. And nobody's path looks the same.
Not one.
I cannot wait to see the actual result of your but better energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want that for you. Like, you've definitely grown since and we both have, right? I say that sisterly.
Yeah.
You've definitely grown since me meeting you years ago, and you're showing up better. You're glowing today. You look better. You sound better. And I'm happy for you. And I cannot wait to see where this but better energy journey, that's tatted on you.
I had to get it tatted.
Let me see. Oh, I like it.
And every time
but better, God.
Yeah,
I love
and
it.
I'll look down, and it's literally like, chin up, sis. And if I become better, I can only attract better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get what I want.
Well, keep getting better.
And you gonna get what you want.
I'm gonna get what I want. We gonna both.
We done got it already.
It's already written.
It's already done.
It's already written.
It looks so magical.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Y'all, let's give it up for Blessin. She has been a blessing sitting here on this couch today with me. This has been another outstanding episode of Full Transparency. As usual, in the comments, wherever you are watching or listening to this, drop for me what your key takeaway was from today's episode. There's been so many.
That's what we did.
There's been so
We said we
many.
was gonna bring the bars.
We said we were gonna bring the bars today, and we brought the bars today. You'll be able to follow Blessin. All of her social media will be tagged wherever you are watching this video, and I will see you next week. Bye. Thanks, girl.
Thank you.